The one and only Johnny Wingo. What's going on, man?
Kenny, how you doing?
I'm doing real good, and thank you for joining me on this holiday weekend, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, no problem. I tried to call you a little bit early here. I was going to find out how to get on the show, but if I'm on the show, let's go.
Well, you find another way to get on the show. A Skype is another option for people to go, so I'm okay with that. And for people that's in the chat room, Johnny Wingo is joining me right now for the Female Wrestling Channel. He's calling me through Skype, and he's now I'm not on webcam, and we don't have webcams on TMV Cafe, so once you hear the interview on YouTube, you're only going to hear the audio, just like what I do with Monroe Jameson with the Skype conversation. So, we're going to definitely get into the news that you broke through the Female Wrestling Channel in a matter of moments. But I want to get into the history of the Female Wrestling Channel and exactly since you put it on the map, bringing into female competitive wrestling, exactly how did the Female Wrestling Channel got started?
I've been a fan of female wrestling for quite some time, maybe for 10 or 15 years, and I never was really impressed with the bookers, whether it be the WWE, WCW, all the way down to some of the smaller promotions. I never really felt that the ladies got their prominence, and even when they do, it would be, at least in my personal opinion, it would be some type of cheesy outfit like WOW or Glow. And then on the other end of the spectrum, for those companies who are doing real competitive female mat wrestling, most of them are in the fetish and porn industries. So, my thing is, I'm trying to kind of make a marriage here between different interests. Namely, what I'm looking for, Kenny, are those fans who are great big female wrestling fans who just can't get enough, don't feel like they've gotten enough. But secondly, like real competitive outcomes, in our case, in storyline fashion, just like they do on TV, but we never truly know where the story is going to go. We never know. The girls don't know. The fans don't know. I even joke sometimes. I don't even know if God Himself knows. We have no idea where this thing goes because it literally is shaped by the ladies out there on the mat every single episode. The things that happen can impact not just one thing, but they can impact many things. And we kind of like that creative destruction and diversity, and we're finding that a lot of our fans do too. And so that's a long, yeah.
What I like about FWC in particular, as you pointed out, is the outcomes. Like we kind of know the characters, and you got your baby face and your heels, and they go at it whether it's pro style, whether it's competitive, whatever the case may be. But in FWC case, the outcomes, that's all in the ladies' hands themselves, and whatever happens, happens, and some and I think what's lacking in wrestling, not just female, but wrestling in general, is the unpredictability, and I think that's what FWC want to bring it back as far as the wrestling forefront. Is that unpredictability. Like you never know who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. You never know who may interfere. You never know what bizarre things may happen. Like anything can happen in a wrestling ring, or in your case, a wrestling mat. And I appreciate as a wrestling fan that y'all bring the outcomes. It's not what people expect. It could truly go either way as far as the participants that's out in the mat. As far as I'm concerned.
And that's the truth. And there's been even like even like the wrestling that you watch on TV. I mean, sometimes you can look at two of the ladies and you might be able to say with good certainty, oh, this one's going to beat the other one. But at the same time, even if that is the case, which oftentimes it's not, there's always a lot of little surprises and nuances and things that happen in between, that we can always come back to later. I mean, we're now at the 2 year mark, and the hardest thing was getting us past the concept stage and building that foundation where, we're even far enough now that somebody like Foxy Rain, who you're familiar with, she's been gone almost an entire year. And, what I think, the biggest thing, and a lot of it, I'm going to have to communicate this in written and video and radio form, like I'm doing right now. But it's really hard to do sometimes to get everything in and show everybody what's really happening here. I mean, Foxy's a really interesting story. At the beginning of chapter 2, which was episode 36, her and Monroe had a feud, and Monroe had beat her in the very first match. And Foxy actually came into that match where she was actually down a fall before the match even started because of a fan vote, for the most popular girl, where they could use a fall against somebody of their choice. And of course, Monroe chose Foxy because she knows she was tough. And Foxy ended up winning that match, even despite that. And, then right afterwards, we learned that she was 2 months pregnant already. She didn't know it. We didn't know it. And, luckily the baby wasn't hurt or anything like that. But, all of a sudden she's out of the storyline. But, that foundation, and what's important for me is that foundation there, and she made such a connection with the people while she was here, that already it's going to be a big deal when she comes back, which is going to be very soon. We're very positive about things. I mean, a lot of times in my writings and stuff, I think that, I understand why big companies kind of put a muzzle on the CEO because, I always look at, I'm always very critical, of the things I do, only because I'm always looking to improve. So sometimes, people will say that, oh, I'm whining about a lack of girls or whining about this or that. And, I just balance that with being honest with the fans and letting them know what's actually going on, because there are a million positives here. I mean, we're not going anywhere. I mean, even if we lost every dime we have, I mean, the thing is that with mats and a camera, we can go anywhere. I mean, that's the thing, even if it's out in the streets, if that's what it came down to. But, that's not even close to where we're at right now. That's not even in the conversation. So, I'm learning to balance and act myself, Kenny.
Well, congrats to FWC as they reached the 2 year mark, and wow, that was a quite a circumstance for Foxy. But if, overall, at the end of the day, she's okay. The baby wasn't affected by much, and I'm happy to hear that she will be making a return to FWC soon. She's been one of my favorites for sure. You have had four main women with the likes of Monroe Jameson, Scarlett Screes, Ashley Wildcat, and Catalina Boss. And, you know, every wrestling company, they have their main top tier talent, top tier personalities that they rely on the most. And I gotta say, Monroe's obviously number one. She's the more popular one, and then she's made quite rivalries with Scarlett and and Ashley, especially the rivalry. That's been a rivalry that I've been at the palm of my feet.
Yeah.
As far as the competition, the trash talking, and that's also what I like about FWC is that you have Monroe. You know, she's your top tier talent. You know what to expect. And then you have this up and comer named Ashley Wildcat. And, you know, they bump heads and they go at it. And I like what I see. I've been purchasing the downloads finally. And I like I like the content. Um, and I think reasonable people understand it is female competitive wrestling. There's no fetish things about it whatsoever. I think that's probably a misconception as it pertains to female wrestling, as people think it's just because they on a mat or whatever, or not in a pro wrestling ring, that people just assume it's fetish. I mean, unless you will really pay attention to what this company is all about, or maybe someone just can't quite comprehend or what they doing, you
Well,
know.
if I can interrupt, I mean, what's kind of fun about it, Kenny, is that I can actually call women sexist for once. They always get to call guys sexist, all these years, and so I can kind of come back with, well, if the only reason why guys watch what we do is to get a rise, I mean, I guess that's why all women, in which there's a lot of women who watch the stuff on WWE TV. I guess we assume that every single one of them watches them for that reason and that reason alone. And that's the thing, is that we're not that vapid, and when we get criticisms like that, we usually brush them aside. I mean, but we've got to kind of set the standard early, because we know they're going to be coming. So we're kind of just getting our arguments set in stone now, because we believe strongly in what we do, and we know we're not hurting anybody, and we also know we're not saving the whales. So I mean, it's purely entertainment, and the wrestling is very real. It's very competitive. I mean, these girls really beat the crap out of each other out there, and I mean, they definitely, anybody that has walked on this mat, in my place, they have a respect for it. I can absolutely tell you that nobody that ever wrestled here is going to sit there and say to anybody that what we do is easy. And that's fantastic. I mean, this is not for everybody. It is going to be a hard road, and I am absolutely okay with that, because that means that not everybody can do it. So,
You are absolutely right when you say it's not easy. It's not for everybody, and regardless if it's mat wrestling or pro style wrestling, people do get hurt. Like, for example, early this year, there was a match between Ashley and Monroe, and from my understanding, Monroe accidentally hit Ashley in the eye, which caused the match to be postponed, and it will later will resume within a few weeks or so. But I kudos to Ashley for bouncing back and just get back into the mat. I mean, that's like it says on the commercials for WWE. Don't try this at home. Leave it to the professionals, or in this case, the just leave it to the FWC ladies and yourself. I mean, y'all trained, y'all built for it, and just look, enjoy the entertainment, enjoy what they do. Just don't duplicate what they do unless you are trained to do so.
yeah, and even if you're not trained to do so, at least watch some of our videos, because we really try to limit the move sets and make them safe, so that any female out there that can do it. And our moves are very much tailored to the female. So I mean, for girls out there that want to wrestle their guy friends, and make a nice scene, they probably will, and they'll probably win. Because a lot of the moves that we teach, they're all female centric, and even Catalina Boss, I mean, she came over from doing high school wrestling, and I mean, she'll be the first to tell you right away that it doesn't translate. I mean, she lost her first match to Scarlet Squeeze. She went to a draw with Ashley Wildcat, then had another match with Ashley, and Ashley beat her. And she'll be the first one to tell you that it's a little bit different. Even one of our legacy sponsors, he was a collegiate wrestler, and his name's Bruce Spain, and he came down and he wrestled Monroe, and she gave him a really good challenge. I mean, he had wrestled guys, and he's much bigger and stronger than her. And the biggest thing, Kenny, is that I have a really fantastic core. And I mean, that's really what's the most important for any company is having a core that you feel good about and that you think you can rely on. And when I look at Monroe and I look at Ashley and I look at Foxy, and when I look at Scarlett and I look at even Catalina. I mean, she talking to her behind the scenes and just getting a feel for her personality and her outlook. I mean, I haven't had five girls like this the entire time. I mean, I put them above, and not just because they're on right now. I mean, I literally put them above, anybody that we've had on in terms of, their ability to be able to hang in a business that is actually much more mental than it is physical. You got a lot of fans trying to pit the girls against each other. You have fans always trying to seduce them all day long, or try to get them off subject of what they're doing, or you get friends and family members that criticize it, and people that look at it and go ooh, and it takes a special type of person to be able to take the long view and realize that perceptions often are just that. I mean, we even when it comes to politics or anything else, I mean, you can see a sea change of opinion in 5, 10, 15 years. And we need ladies who are resolute, actually believe in this, understand what we're trying to accomplish. It's not just to get a rise out of people. I mean, we want people to get connected to the characters. We want a storyline that makes sense, that is compelling and interesting. And most of all, we want real female wrestling, and we want to get as many ladies out there from all vocations, involved as much as possible. And I mean, they can get involved if they, just need money. I mean, because it's a tough economy. And if they're in a good financial position and they know of a charitable cause, or something, some type of vessel that is in need of money, those are things we can always explore. We can be a good vessel. It's just a matter of how the people that we talk to, who we want to work with, perceive us. And if now's not the time, that's okay, because there's a lot of them who are interested. There's a lot of them who aren't. And, we also have to weigh things on our side as well, to make sure that we're a good fit, with a lot of the people, come to us. So.
Just a few weeks and about a month ago, Monroe Jameson went on to become the first employee for FWC. She had a job for about 8 years, and now this female competitive wrestler is now her job now. And that gives her more time to chat with fans through Skype and social media and things like that. And so far, I believe she's doing very well.
She is.
And
Yep.
I've chatted with her on Skype twice since she became a full-time employee. She's very excited, and she's doing all she can to help spread the word. That being said, with Monroe already on board, do you see Ashley, Catalina, and Scarlett, or any future ladies, may consider following Monroe's path of being an employee someday?
No, I do have to say, just so the IRS don't come after us, that she is a contractor. She's not an employee, but just wordplay there. I understand. Yes, I mean, I do. It's they're different. There's always different people in different stages of their lives, and timing isn't always right. With a lot of things. Like for instance. Two of the aforementioned ladies, Scarlett and Catalina, are still very deep in school. Ashley is an entrepreneur. She would probably be the most logical next one to make the jump. It always comes down to the inner fortitude of the person themselves. I mean, because I tell any lady that's on board, if you come to me and you want to learn, I will stop what I'm doing, and I will do everything I can to transfer what's in my brain and give it to you. But if a lady just wants me to type them out everything in my brain over the internet, that doesn't work. So just like in any business, Kenny, I mean, uh, sometimes you got to sift for a long time to find those all stars, and we're okay with that. I mean, this ain't my first rodeo.
Well, you got yourself quite an all-star cast for FWC, and they definitely have expanded themselves, and it looks like FWC has become a place where outside of FWC, there's opportunities. Like I've been fortunate to interview all four ladies, and Scarlett just was recently featured in a rap music video. I saw the video about a week ago. Me being the hip hop fan that I am, I had to check it out. And the fact that Scarlett's on there, and she looked very great.
Great, didn't she? Yeah,
Yeah,
she looked fantastic. I'm like, is that? Of course. And I'm like, yes, of course that's her. I'm like, well, great job. I mean, I told her myself. I mean,
so
she
that
she did great.
so that's something to keep in mind for all you aspiring female wrestling wrestlers out there. If you go to FWC, there's opportunities outside of it maybe coming your way. You just never know. I mean, yeah, Johnny, you recently posted a video of trying to get any aspiring talent out there, and it featured all four ladies talk about their stories of what FWC mean to them. What was it like working on that video and having all four ladies involved to, help get more people out there?
Oh, they're easy and great to work with. I mean, like that's what I was kind of saying. The core that I have right now. I mean, they get it, and I mean, they're very easy to work with. For the most part. I mean, and for any ladies that might be listening that are wrestlers already, or even if they work with us, or even if they don't. I mean, I think the main thing that so many of them have to remember is that not every just because somebody's a female wrestling fan doesn't mean they're a money machine. And you see. You sort of see so many of them. It's just sales message after sales message after sales message after sales message, and that's what I'm trying to work hard to get our girls away from, because the biggest thing that I think a lot of companies miss, that I know that we for damn sure have been missing, and that I'm changing, and I have been changing, is I really don't see how anybody can become a fan of anything in life if they can't see the content, and I really want my ladies to be giving away free downloads, and letting people experience what we're doing before they buy, and let them become fans first, and then they'll buy naturally. And I think that's really a good lesson for any producer or model out there. I mean, that's listening. So
One thing I notice is that you also get people outside of FWC to take part, like the example of Cheyenne Jewel. I think that was the first FWC download I purchased. Went up against Monroe. She was at Indiana at the time, and y'all made it a reality.
in
And that,
2 days.
and
Yeah.
I mean, what's it like to have someone like Cheyenne, who's well known in her form of art, if you will, to that's on board to go up against Monroe. I mean, that's
All right,
has to be a
cool.
big deal.
Yeah, it is. She's cool. I mean, of course, I've got to get past my own dorky self sometime. I mean, we went down to Indy really early in the morning because she had to leave like at 11 a.m. So we shot this very, very early, and she came out, and I thought she was gonna kill me. I said something like, I was like, "Oh, nice MC Hammer pants" or something. Like I had to have a little quip. She just kind of gave me the look of death, but no, she's just kind of like that all the time. I mean, I kind of already knew that, but a lot of people, think I'm like that too, so I kind of understood it. But no, she had her little parakeets in there, and she's a big animal lover, and very, very, very smart and intelligent, and she even taught us some things, after that video was over. So yeah, we were happy to work with her for sure.
Now, recently there are some breaking news as it pertains to FWC. It's been posted on the website FemaleWrestlingChannel.com, and for all those that are subscribed to the newsletter via email. And some people may already know it, but for those that don't, why don't you let the people know what's the latest news that's going on?
Yeah, sure, Kenny. Well, one thing, I actually was just kind of sitting back and, I usually like to think that I have pretty good empathy. I usually think that I'm pretty good at putting myself in other people's shoes. But I was just kind of sitting and thinking, about my own product. I mean, things move so fast, so often in life. I mean, you're doing this, you're doing that, and then you look up and it's 6 months later, and you're like, oh goodness. But I sat down and I took a really strong look at everything I was offering, and really what had prompted it was, it occurred to me that in the entire time that we've been open, less than 500 to 1,000 people max have ever seen a full length video. And I'd kind of gotten away from my roots, which, my roots when I first got into this, and, that I still repeat, is that, I want to take what we're doing and bring it a little bit closer to the mainstream. And, if I'm having fetish pricing, on the videos, and, again, because, we're doing something completely new. I mean, it's really hard to, we're the ones blazing the trail here. So, I started looking at things. I'm like, at least for me myself, I'm a big fan of this stuff. But, I wouldn't pay Johnny Ringo $100 for 5 videos. Even though, I might like those videos and they might be very good. I just don't think I would spend that much money. And that was kind of the hard look I took. And I reduced all the downloads on the site, everything. The first chapter, which is episodes 1 through 35. I reduced all those from $20 down to $2.99 per download. Everything from episode 36 up to the current episode 53 is only $4.99 per download, as opposed to, again, 20 before. I moved all of our FWC extras into the membership. We are creating something called a story arc, where the fans can start learning about storylines that I'm coming up with, characters that I'm creating, and then they can also participate in the process and actually, give their own input. We're going to have weekly contests for the membership. I'm definitely going to be having a lot more content. We're moving, I think I said it, but we're moving the FWC extras into the membership so that, because the last few months has been the slowest that I've had. And it's basically just been because of girls having conflicting schedules and, just things not lining up with people that were supposed to come on and, people who were supposed to come back. And, so I want to make sure that, there's always something going on for those slow times. So then when we pick it back up, I'll do a bunch of content ahead, just stack it, and then make up for, a little bit of time that, things were slow. So we eliminated the $9.99 per month membership option. The reason I did it is because, again, trying to have empathy, I'm like, I hate recurring charges. I imagine most people probably dislike them themselves. So, I decided to make the downloads more affordable, and we have a $99 option to be able to view every single video on the site, close to 60 right now, for only $99 per year. So it's a really good deal, and I feel really good about it. That's for sure.
Well, that is some great news to hear for all FWC fans. And as far as I'm concerned, for those that haven't purchased a download, all I'm going to say is there's no excuse. The prices have been dropped, $2.99, $4.99. I mean, you still got the $99 1 year membership. But for those that just want to at least purchase the downloads, no excuses, man. Like I purchased the downloads. That was before the prices dropped. So the way
Yeah.
I see it is a win-win situation for you and for the fans. And I give you a lot of credit for doing that. And again, go check out FemaleWrestlingChannel.com for all the info of all the females, past and present. Foxy Wayne, hopefully she's coming back soon, and I would love to interview her next if she does attend to come back.
She'll be a fun interview. I'll make for sure that happens. When she comes back, it won't be long.
All right, well, Johnny, it was great chatting with you. And this is actually the second time you and I have actually talked. The first time we talked was when I did the Skype conversation with Monroe for the first time. You just came on board at the end of the conversation, and very cool dude, very passionate, and congratulations, man, for 2 years of FWC, you and the ladies, and I'm a supporter, and hopefully I can be a legacy sponsor someday. That's the key word, hopefully. But until then, man, thank you for your time on this holiday weekend, nonetheless. And you tell Monroe I said hello, and again, thank you for your time, man.
Hey, I always make time for you, Kenny. Don't forget, you're in Kentucky. You're not very far away.
Yeah, that's right. We're like 6, 7 hours away, something like that.
So you can definitely set something up sometime. So you take care.
All right, man. Thanks again. Have a good weekend, man.
You too.
All right,
See
bye-bye.
ya.
That was Johnny Wingo of the Female Wrestling Channel joining me here on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C.